Today we are going to review theme. What is the theme? We talked about this morning whenever we did our the real story, the Big Bad Wolf. What is the theme?
The theme of it is that he blew the house down and killed the pig.
Nope. That would be like our main idea. But what is a theme? If I said, okay,
It's the life lesson.
The life lesson. That's the hey, I put a folder right here. So if you have to think about the story, The Tortoise and the Hare. Do you remember this story?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. So the Tortoise and the Hare, we have this rabbit who is basically, a rabbit's fast. When you think about it, are rabbits fast?
Yes.
How would you explain a turtle?
Turtle is slow.
Turtles are slow.
When they panic, they do actually go fast.
When they panic, they can actually go fast. But when you compare a turtle,
I was gonna ask if I could do the paper that we did yesterday for reading.
Can you give me just a please? So when you think about the tortoise and the hare, we think that a turtle's going to be really slow and a rabbit's going to be really fast. So here's my thing. What was our theme of Tortoise and the Hare?
That the hare thought he was going to take a nap.
Okay, so that he thought it's not the theme. He thought he could take a nap, and that no matter what, I can take a nap. It'll be fine. What's going to happen?
The turtle's lying.
He oversleeps.
He oversleeps, and the turtle wins. So do you remember when we talked about theme, whenever we were talking about folk tales and tall tales, what we talked about the theme could be? Slow and steady.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Oh my goodness gracious. Slow and steady wins the race. So if slow and steady wins the race, that is our theme. We're not going to write it on here, but that's what I want you to think about. Think about when you go slow and you actually do work and you take your time, do you usually do better?
Yeah.
So, well, for most people, yes, that is a thing. They usually do better. But if you rush through it, you try to get done, and you're like, oh my gosh, Misty, I know all this. I don't have to do anything. I'm going to put my answers down really fast and turn it in. Most of the time, do you make the best grade that you can?
One in third
Well, I mean,
I
like,
did rush on a test.
When I don't
and
try,
I just guessed, and I got a straight 100.
When I don't.
I got a straight 100.
No, which is awesome. But most of the time, if you think about all the kids in our class, if you think about all of your friends, do you think each one of them would be able to do that in a simple way? Do you think that they would all be able to be successful? Do you think they would all be able to be successful if they rushed through it?
No.
So to slow and steady win the race, do you understand how that's like a theme and a life lesson? Take your time, and you'll do really well. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this page on theme. There are 3 little paragraphs that we're going to read. Who wants to read that first one?
Me.
Okay.
The theme of the story is the underlying message in the story.
What?
The underlying message in the story.
What's an underlying message?
It's like
it's an underlying
like
message.
Lesson.
It's like
Lesson?
Basically.
Does it come out and tell me, hey, slow and steady wins a race?
No.
What do you think it would mean then if it was underlying?
An important word.
It is an important word, but think about it. If we have an underlying message, do you think when you read it, it's going to completely state slow and steady wins a race?
theme.
It is our theme, but it's something that we have to read and try to figure out on our own. Because is it going to tell me in a story, slow and steady wins a race, or is it going to ask you, what do you think the life lesson is?
What do you think the life lesson is?
What do you think the life lesson is? So it's underlying, meaning you're going to have to go through and read it, and you're going to have to figure out what it is. You're going to have to infer. What's infer? Using our information that we already have with what we get, put it together, and that's how we make an inference. So if we're at a birthday party, if we walk into a place and there's balloons and cakes and presents, what can we infer?
It's a
birthday party. So they're basically saying you have to infer what the theme is as you go through and read. Okay, Luciana.
Okay. Many times, people confuse the main idea or the summary of a story with the theme of a story or passage. The main idea is a short summary of the events, while the theme is an inference that relates to the underlying message or lesson in the story. The theme is not directly stated, but is implied.
So it's implied. It's basically saying slow and steady wins a race without actually saying it correctly. So that's basically what we just talked about. So last week and the week before, we talked about main idea and a summary. A main idea and a summary, it's just a short little synopsis of what you read. Is that a theme?
Yes. Wait, what'd you say?
Is the main idea or a summary, can that be considered a theme?
Oh, no. that's
No,
nothing.
where you see main idea, so main idea or summary, I want you to mark that because that has nothing to do with our theme. Huh? Yeah.
Ow.
Okay, Damari, would you like to read?
No, can
Okay, she reads. Okay.
The reader must think about the character's expressions and
Experiences.
experiences and choices to infer the theme of the story.
Okay, so we have to think about the character's experiences and choices. We think about the tortoise and the hare. When you think about a rabbit, what are its experiences? What do you think it's usually faster than?
Everything.
Everything. So if this hare, this rabbit thinks, oh, okay, I'm faster than everything, do you think his choices are going to be different than the turtles are?
Right. Wait, yes.
No, you're good. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our 3 questions. August, if you want to finish that off.
Wait, when a reader is attempting to infer.
Okay, pause. Where it says infer, I want you to put background knowledge.
Infer.
It looked a little less on that part.
Okay.
Background knowledge plus what I read. Background knowledge plus what I read. Go ahead and get to writing. Background knowledge plus what I read. What's inference? Background knowledge
Plus what I read.
plus what I read. What is it? Background knowledge
Plus what I read.
plus.
Plus what I read.
Thank you.
Okay. And for the theme, it is helpful to ask. Number 1, what is the big idea in the story?
What is the big idea? What is this whole thing? What's it trying to tell me about? What is the main topic?
The hare and the
Big bang.
the
Plus
hare
what
and
I read. So in any kind of story, we went over last week what was a topic. We have a topic, we have a main idea. So whenever you think about the topic, what does it want me to understand about the topic? Okay, number 2.
what larger message in the author trying?
Author trying to.
To convey.
Do you know what that means? Don't know what convey means?
Convey, I've heard it before, but I think it means, my opinion, I think it means like to convince in a certain way.
Oh my gosh, yes. So what is the author trying to convince us of? I want you to write that right now. Because convey, is that a word you hear every day?
No.
No, but if I asked you what the author's purpose is of trying to convince us, we talked about convincing quite a bit in our last unit. Do you remember what kind of text we talked about?
Author's
It is an author's purpose. But when they're trying to convince us to do something, they're trying to do what? Persuade us. So
yeah.
persuade or argumentative text, they're giving us all their reasons. So if they're trying to convey something to us, they're trying to convince us to believe something. Okay, so
What did the author want the reader to understand?
okay, so basically, what does the author, as I read this, what do they want me to learn as I leave? Okay.
That the
Slow and steady.
so yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race. Okay, so this is our passage that we're going to read that's going to go along with theme. But before we look at this, I want us to look at our questions to see what we can, or what we need to expect as we read. What questions we know that we need to answer. Okay, if you look at this passage right here, it says Max and Kai play ball. Do you think this is fiction or nonfiction?
Really?
It could be realistic fiction, but it's fiction, yes, nonetheless. So I want you to put F at the very top. Not that you got an F, but that it stands for what?
Fiction.
Fiction. Fiction, fake, nonfiction, not fake. So we have fiction. I'm just putting an F right there. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want you to look where it says, is that right?
Really?
Where it says summary. Do you remember the acronym or the letters or what we talk about whenever we did summary? How do I know how to write a summary? What do I use?
A body.
What?
A summary. So if I said, August, I want you to read this whole thing and then give me a summary about what you read.
Oh, a summary means that like you tell like the theme
Mhm.
is
Somebody,
somebody when
no,
what
wanted.
wanted
Do you remember this? Somebody wanted.
when but so
Somebody wanted, but so then.
I never
but
heard
so
of
then
it.
yeah.
What? Oh, were you not here when we started? You never learned somebody wanted, but so then. What about beginning, middle, and end? B and E. So you could
We
do.
did that yesterday.
Yes, exactly. So
I was
above and well, we did nonfiction, so that's why we did beginning, middle, and end. But on summary, I want you to think beginning, middle, or end. And since this is a fiction piece, right here. And since this is a fiction piece of work, is there a somebody? Is there people that it's talking about?
No. Yes.
Max and Kai
Max
play.
and Kai. Yeah.
So if we have Max and Kai play baseball, we could also do somebody wanted, but so and then, meaning who's our characters? What did they want? But this occurred. What was our problem?
Somebody what?
Somebody wanted, but so then. So this was our somebody. This is our character. What did they want? What was our problem? How did they solve it? How did it end? So that's pretty simple to write in like one. If I could write that in one sentence, like if I thought about the tortoise and the hare, who's my somebody?
Tortoise in the hare.
The tortoise and the hare were doing what?
Racing.
Racing.
What was my problem?
The hare took a nap for an hour and
He was very
overslept.
boastful,
Yeah.
which means
Brag.
he thought that he was all that. He thought he could win no matter what.
He was annoying. He got caught.
So what happened?
So
He got
the tortoise won.
The tortoise ended up winning. What was my theme?
Slow and steady
wins
wins
the
the
Slow
race.
and steady wins the race. So that could be for that folk tale. It could be that could be our somebody wanted but so then. Okay, let's go ahead and make sure your name is on it.